Okay,
right
yeah,
now.
I just made my video go live.
We are live. For people watching on playback, we are live. Somebody says, "Is it over?" Right away. First comment. Done. We're done. The stream is over. No, we are live. Let me switch this to live.
We are
messages.
live.
Have you guys noticed that on the chat now it automatically defaults to top comments? Like, I don't understand why it does that. Like on your live stream chat.
I don't like that. I don't know why it does that. I have to change it every single time.
I think it's to filter out all the spam comments, isn't it?
Oh, you know what? You could probably switch to that and filter out spam. You're right. So if you're streaming by yourself and you don't have any like moderators, you can do that. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are going to talk about all the DCTV shows, including Supergirl, even though it's on break because we got some information about that. And we're going to cover questions from you guys as well. Let me take the intro off here. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the 4-channel crossover. I know it's been a long time coming. A lot of personal stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Either way, we're here. We're going to have fun today. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. In the house, we have, as usual, the other 3 channels of our 4-channel crossover, because that's how numbers work. We have Ben from DCTVShow, as you guys may know, who loves Melwood. We have We have Bobatalks, who only does Gotham content. That's all he's allowed to do.
Triggered.
and we have Pagey, who draws arrows in his thumbnails so everybody can basically copy him and do arrows in their thumbnails.
Is this a roasting?
That was those were kind of the jokes in the intro video. Those were what it was going to be, but it was much funnier than that. So anyway,
that uploaded to Twitter or something.
Yeah, watch Twitter, you guys. On Twitter today, I'm going to be uploading a video that I got copyright striked on, so that should be fun. We're going to talk a little bit about Black Lightning as well. Okay, so since we have so much to talk about, let's do the first thing I want to talk about is something that we don't normally cover, and I only want to talk about it because it looked really cool to me. The Krypton TV show released a Brainiac look at their first look at Brainiac. It's very Injustice to me. I kind of liked it. What did you guys think of the Brainiac reveal for Krypton?
I think it was amazing.
It looks great. I'm really excited for that.
It definitely turned my opinion a little bit on the show. Like, I thought, okay, well, maybe this is going to be... I knew I'd watch it anyway, but I thought, okay, well, this is definitely... They've definitely delivered something now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
I didn't actually even watch the trailer. I just saw the picture. And he has, like, the black eyes. Is that?
Yeah.
Like the screen grab. I didn't actually watch the
We'll answer we'll answer Sam's question here in a second. This is the only thing on Gotham I was going to talk about. We'll think his question in a second.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. He looks great. I think I'm actually really happy with how the ship looks as well. What do you guys think about the ship?
Do they show another look of it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I remember that in the trailer. That looks pretty awesome, actually, as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks just like the comic one. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit different. But...
Does it make you wonder why? I mean, do you think the look of Brainiac 5 and Supergirl was affected by the design choice for Krypton? Like, maybe they didn't want to do the same character? Or, you know what I mean? Like, maybe behind the scenes, they were like, we can't do 2 characters that look exactly the same. Do you think that might have had something to do with it? Or no?
Yeah,
because the Krypton one does look 20 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that's a possibility. But also remember back in season 1 of Supergirl, there was Indigo, who's Brainiac 8. So maybe they wanted to do it quite similar to that because she was dark blue.
Okay,
so I don't know. But...
That's fair enough. Either way, I think
I
think
it comes down to a green screen issue.
Yeah,
completely honest.
I think that Krypton, the scenes with Brainiac. Well, okay, so is it possible that Krypton's special effects team has more money? Maybe they're willing to fight with the green, or maybe, you know, because you can do blue screen too. You know what I mean? If they know they're not using color blue, they could use blue screen. But I don't know.
It might be because they're filming inside, like basically it's all sets.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have to pay that extra money to film in like city scenes, like all the other shows have to do.
It's possible.
So they had that extra money.
That's a really good point.
CGI. But then again, I know how much those sets cost because I know how much is practical, how much is just like a green screen they put stuff in.
So
I think.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Good. Oh no, I was gonna say that I think the VFX, the budget on Krypton is actually higher, if I'm correct in saying, is
Yeah.
because they've got a lot of these big names actually in the production. Obviously, the writer for, I think, The Dark Knight and Man of Steel's in it. I forgot his name right now.
David S. Goyer. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously Jeff Johns was quite involved in that, and so they got bigger names. And I think I heard that they had a higher budget.
There was a rumor that Krypton was pitched to Netflix first, but they didn't pick it up. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Wow. Quite surprised they didn't pick it up, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're going to jump into Sam's question, and we'll go ahead and do Arrow immediately after that, because there's no real, I don't have this set up in any specific format. So Sam says, what are your hopes to see in the back half of Arrow and other shows? Finally, we have an upcoming Richard Dragon and Oliver-oriented episode called The Dragon and Back to the Basics. Thoughts on Adrian Chase coming back for a potential cameo? So that's a lot of stuff, Sam. We'll start off talking about Adrian Chase, because that's something that Pagey talked about in his video. So it's been, confirmed that he is coming back now? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah.
I've been told that he's in Vancouver filming, and he was around the Arrow set, so I know. Why would he be there? And also, Stephen Amell's been posting photos and stuff of it's a flashback episode,
right?
Or Oliver's randomly putting on old suits for the sake of it, which would be stupid. So,
so you think it's gonna be like a whole flashback episode, or just specific flashbacks? What do you think?
It's going to be like, I know it's a weird episode to compare it to, but I have a feeling it's going to be maybe like that Olicity episode we had last year where they were stuck in the bunker.
Okay.
But better, not crap. So, so I
Would
think
it
that's
just
what it's
be
going to be
what
like.
Adrian had possibly to do with the current storyline, or?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, if he's in the episode, it'll be like 5 minutes at the most. It'll be like a scene, and that's.
Oh, see, I wonder if that's going to connect Adrian and what he's doing to Richard Dragon. Maybe make a connection between those characters.
One of the theories I've seen is that Adrian let Richard Dragon out of prison before he finished his plan.
A backup plan.
Yeah, it's like he's like, well, if this doesn't work, I'll just call some more.
So Doc Savage says that Stephen Amell actually replied to Charlie and said that it wasn't a flashback. But I mean, do we always believe everything they say? I mean, this is the thing. I'm not going to call anybody a liar, but the people on the show have misdirected people in the past. So.
Yeah, and Stephen replied to that about the boat, which is in the Queen Mansion. If you go to episode,
yeah, I saw that photo.
It's from that episode in season 2 where Slade Wilson goes hello and pops his head out in the present day. It's from that episode. It's in the Queen Mansion because Slade's playing with it. So it's the same boat. So it's in the Queen Mansion. So why would all the Queen stuff still be there? No one's living there. I'm pretty sure they would have sold it.
Yeah.
So or it belongs to someone else at this point.
I'm sure I got all those questions. What is our hopes to see back half of be Richard Dragon, Oliver Oriented, back to basic, Adrian Chase. So what are our hopes for the back half of the season of Arrow this season? So let's go into some of my stuff here. Thank you, Doctor Who Theories, for your super chat. Also, Sam, I don't know if I said it or not, but thank you. You're always so supportive. Do you think the season of Flash will be better than last season? Doctor Who Theories, hold that thought. We will talk about that in just a moment. Thank you again for your super chat. Let me write that down so we cover that. Better than last season. That's a tall order. Okay, so...
What a hard one.
So for Arrow... I can't even say that without laughing. So we know we're getting Black Siren's going to be in a lot of episodes in the back half of the season. There's also this very next episode seems like it's going to be Black Siren centric, as far as terms. We talked about this a second ago before we went live. So Black Siren, really, they only have two options with this character: either give her a redemption arc or get her killed off. I mean, I don't think. Do you guys think they're just going to keep her around as this lackey for multiple seasons, or what do you think?
Yeah. I think they're going to tease the redemption arc towards possibly the end of this season to pick up next season.
Yeah, I think I would like the redemption arc. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, she might not get the full redemption arc this season because obviously she's not the main character, so it could be hard to fit it all in this season. But what they could do is put her in a place at the end of the season where you could argue that maybe Team Arrow's okay, we don't hate you. We're not going to go after you that much. So she has that freedom to become good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she's
not
being chased.
The thing is, they brought her back for... I mean, what else could they have brought her back to the show for? You know what I mean? If they're not going to give her a redemption arc at all, anything, just a little tiny something, It just makes me wonder why they even bothered to bring her back in the first place.
I just think everyone thought that we'd be getting it throughout the duration possibly of this season, but yeah, now they're going to introduce it and it'll be kind of like a secondary arc next season.
So you think this is setting up something for season 7, basically? Is what you guys think?
Yeah.
I don't think they want to get rid of her, so...
They saw the flack. They got a lot of flack for getting rid of her in the first place, so that's why I'm thinking if they were to kill her off again, that would not be good.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that Dinah Drake won't be in next season, just because I have no idea what they're going to do with her character. Like, I've been told that Renee Ramirez is in next season. Like,
really?
He's going to be in next season, but I didn't see what they'd be able to do with his character, so that might just be, I don't know, just them saying stuff, but I don't know. Like, I think Renee and Dinah should be written out of the show at the end of this season.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense.
Even Renee.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, because he could just stop being a vigilante and go spend time with his daughter. Because I don't know how he's going to work back.
That's the right thing to do.
That would actually be the most realistic resolve for his character, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
So Roy Harper's coming back, and the title of the episode, I believe, the first part of his episode is Doppelganger. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now we're getting it's like 2 episodes with him in it, but there's a break between. I think there's a break between the 2 episodes, which is weird.
Yeah.
I am in a fucking giggle again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. It's just more. Yeah, it's more stuff.
It's a 1-week break, and I have no idea why it's on.
Why would you do that? They obviously know this when they go into doing the season. So I don't understand why they would do that.
Like, I understand the break now because they don't want to be competing with the Olympics, but why continue after that? Like, no, why do another break after, like, what, 2 episodes?
The casual viewer just might be like, wait, I can't remember what happened last episode.
Where the fuck is this season gone?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's kind of like, I feel like this year more than any season has had these. Maybe it's just me this year, but I feel like there's been more of these like tiny, like pointless breaks this season than we normally get.
Well, the first half, I don't think there was any breaks, was there?
No.
And then now it's just all stuttered up, like it's all screwed up. So.
Yeah, it's March Madness is what Ragu's saying. Yeah, the basketball tournament is basically what's... Like, I wish that the CW would stop with these... Like, a lot of channels have, like, their main channel, and they have, like, a sports affiliate channel. The CW tries to mix their sports with their regular programming, and I think it's the worst thing ever. Like, I hate it.
Yeah, didn't you have to watch an episode of Arrow at, like, midnight?
Yeah, because of sports, yes.
Because of sports or something wrong?
Yeah. It was so stupid. I was like, what in the world? So anyway,
that would really annoy me.
The name is Doppelganger. Now, I'm just going to throw out a few things because, I mean, we know a little bit about the episode already, but there's been some, like, some really wild theories about what's going to possibly happen. People are saying that we're going to get 2 Roys, one from Earth 1, one from Earth 2 that knows Laurel Lance. And that's what Doppelganger means. That this isn't going to be our Roy originally. That's going to be a Roy from Earth 2. I mean, I guess they could, but how would they explain him being on Earth 1? Like, people just... Yeah. That seems like a pretty tall order to, like, expect someone to come over like that.
There's only a couple of ways you can breach over now, really, isn't there? Since there isn't... Yeah.
I personally don't think it's going to be to do with Roy, the title. I think it's going to be to do with Black Siren.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Also, that's just...
Yeah, and there's even one of the promo pictures has Black Siren in a public hospital.
She's in the bed, isn't she?
Yeah. In a public hospital, so you have to get admitted for that. So my guess is that she actually says, "Oh, I'm Laurel" or something, and then that's how she gets into public hospital. Because how would she get the being a ridiculous amount of things going on? Like, it wouldn't make sense if she was just admitted without any question.
Oh no, Boba with that swiftness! I saw that coming. Thank you, Cream Cheese Burrito. It's my Arkham World shirt with the Jurassic World logo with the Joker. That was kind of cool.
I like that.
Okay, so I totally sidetracked there for a second. So yes, I think the Doppelganger thing is about Laurel Lance, but a lot of people think it's going to be about Roy. But I don't think the title of it. I don't think the title is specifically about Laurel, and it has nothing to do with Roy at all. That's just my opinion.
I think it's just like, oh, let's just give a cool episode title.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So lastly for Arrow, we're going to answer Sam's question about what we hope for the end of the season, but we know Richard Dragon is now in control. Do you think that he's going to continue to work with the other lackeys, or do you think he's going to just want to use his own people? Like, do you think he's going to keep Anatoly around and you know, Black Siren around on his team, or is he just going to break up that whole thing and keep his guys around? What do you guys think?
I think he just might use them to the point where he doesn't need them anymore.
Yeah. Cast them aside. If they die, they die, kind of thing.
Yeah, just like, I would have liked to keep you around for another episode or two to help me, but who cares? I'll just get someone else.
Okay,
something like that. I hope that Anatoly. I love his character, but I hope he doesn't stay around, because I feel like having one center villain is better. And I don't think these guys have worked very well, in my opinion, this season so far. So I don't know. I prefer it to just be Richard Dragon and maybe his men.
Yeah, because I honestly think if he stays in league with Black Siren, it's going to make it harder for her to have that any kind of redemption. If she stays with him, she's just going to be a bad guy lackey for the rest of the season. So I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
And as far as
I don't think she will, because I think but the thing with like Anatoly is that if Richard Dragon's like just buying the city out, so he's buying all the city officials, which is in turn he's probably going to buy out all the gangs, which in turn he would buy out the Bradvar. So Anatoly would in turn just constantly be working for Richard Dragon, but you know, not directly, if you know what I mean, like hanging out with him. So that could just be how they keep Anatoly in the show without putting him in a position where he might get killed, because he's not directly involved with Richard Dragon, like standing next to him every single episode. He's just like connected to him because Richard Dragon's buying everything out. So that might be how they, you know, Anatoly shows up every now and then, but doesn't really put him in a spot where he might die.
Yeah, he's a cool, like, he's sort of like one of those characters that you don't mind seeing return, you know, when he comes back. So
yeah, just every handful of episodes, like, oh, here's Anatoly with a funny American.
Sam says, no Lady Shiva rant. You see, I have self-control. That's okay, Sam.
I think Anatoly, it is almost time for him to die, though, or if he did die, it would work.
Yeah, because he's not going to become KG Beast. He's like 1,000,000 years old, so
yeah. Well, it's just like I don't know if I'd want to see him pop up again in a similar arc in season 7. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay, you again. Whose side are you on?
Right. Any thoughts, Ben, on that, or pretty much same thing everybody said?
Yeah, same thing roughly.
Ben's just waiting for that Supergirl section.
Well, we're gonna move to that after this, so don't worry. We're gonna do that after this. So anyway, as far as what we're gonna see in the back half of Arrow this season, I just want them to continue like moving in a direction of quality. I think we've had a lot of like weird stuff happen in the front part of the season. So Arrow has been shown that it can really make the season work within like 6 episodes. Like, because last season, really, there were like at the very end, there were about 6 really, really strong episodes that pretty much redeemed the whole season. So
yeah,
there's always a chance of that happening.
The best and made it like the best season. Yeah. There you go. Okay, Arrow was the most enjoyable.
That's actually my favorite season of Arrow. So
yeah,
I know
agreed.
Season 2 is close up for me.
Ooh, so disagree, but we'll move on.
I know.
Branzalov. Yeah, we're going to talk about Flash here in a second. I'll remember that, though, because that's one of the things I have in my notes. So we'll talk about that in a moment. All right, so we're going to move on from Arrow. And I do want to remind you guys, anybody that just joined, as you can see above me, it says in big letters, spoilers, because we're going to be talking about like just everything and anything. So if you don't want to like hear any spoilers, then you might want to plug your ears a few times. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Supergirl, since it's still got a long way to go, and I know Ben really wants to talk about
How long until it comes back? Like over a month?
Yeah.
No, like a month and a half?
Yeah.
April.
I think they said 59 days or something like that. So
you hanging in there, Ben? Jesus.
No, I'm dying.
So one of the most interesting things is we know that I think hopefully I get her name pronounced correctly. Angela Zhao, is that how you pronounce her last name? Yeah. Zhao joins the show as a doctor, and I think everybody. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. I looked around a little bit this week, but we're pretty much on board with her being Pestilence, right? I mean, that's who she's going to be.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, all I've heard is that she's going to be playing Pestilence. That they were casting an Asian actress to play Pestilence. Okay. I knew that.
Now, do you think she's going to be tied with the Blight that happens in the future, since Pestilence and Blight kind of go together?
Well, if I start off, I made a video on this a while ago, but there's definitely a link, because if you look at the definition of what Pestilence actually means, it's like... I think it's like a disease that kills off like plants and natural things in the wild, and that's exactly what the Blight is. So there is a link there, and maybe she's like, I don't know, I feel like she could be linked in, but that's just quite a far-fetched theory. It's just the names that sort of link in. But what do you think?
I have literally no thoughts because I have not read anything on Supergirl, to be completely honest. But I think you and Eric might be the only ones to be able to. The only thing I can say is that I'm not the biggest fan of them bringing in all the world killers. I'd rather if it was just Rain, because these world killers are made up. Like, they're not from the comics. Like, it would have been okay if they brought in maybe like one of the other ones from the comics that was with Rain, but then again, that might be a bit too overpowered because they're like monsters. Like, Rain's like the most human looking of the world killers from the comics.
Yeah, that's why I think they went with the human look, because of how odd the other ones look.
Yeah. And obviously why Rain isn't necessarily looking like she does in the comics. But I don't know. I just hope he doesn't take away from Rain when we get to those last couple of episodes, because I think she's the most interesting part of the season. And I think of late, because they've been trying, like the past 2 episodes, because they've been trying to work in, what's her name? Purity.
Purity.
It just feels like, oh, well, where's Rain? Like, she's much more interesting.
Yeah.
Than this other one just showed up.
Okay. By the end of the season, well, I think, you know, that they announced like episodes 18 is called Shelter from the Storm. I think around episode 19, I think after they have the big fight with all the world killers, now they're united, I want Purity and Pestilence to somehow be like either taken away from the fight or just like getting rid of or just killed or something. Because I agree, Pagey. Rain is definitely, we're invested in her character. We've built up her character throughout the whole season, her human life, her Rain life since the mid-season finale. So yeah, I would like it if by the last 3-4 episodes it's just Rain that they have to do.
I think that's the way to go, because you don't really want, like, they've set it up that Rain should be the villain. There's like that connection as well. So I don't know, it should be like those other two just sort of help in her progression to becoming fully Rain, if that makes sense.
It also makes me wonder, like, as powerful as Rain is, the other 2 characters have to serve some sort of purpose, especially with their names, Purity and Pestilence. Like, there's clearly something going on that they have planned for all 3 of these characters together. It's one of those things where the wording of how things are going to happen with Rain in regards to how, you know, the future sees it, if she eventually leaves, that doesn't tell us anything really. I mean, it just means that anything could happen, really. I mean, that's pretty, I don't know, it's just a vague thing to say about that character. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I'm kind of curious. What do you think the real reason that the Legion came back is for? Like, why did Imra come back? Why did Mon-El come back? What do you think that is? What do you think the real reason for that is?
Take it, Ben.
Okay. I'm remaining quiet.
So I had quite a few theories, but to be honest, I don't really remember half of them. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks. I've been dying here. Okay. Okay. So one of them is obviously to save Supergirl, but another is I think the theory was just due to the future, and they knew what was going to happen with the Blight. So maybe if Pestilence is linked into the Blight, like we've theorized, this is just one theory online, maybe they're there to take her out so they don't have that future threat in the future for the Legion of Superheroes. And apparently, like, people were saying that Isla, who was name dropped, who's Lightning Lass, actually died by the Blight. Maybe they're trying to save their friend. And also another theory is maybe one of the Legion members is stuck in the past, or I think that's more of an obscure theory that people had, but I think the best one would be something, I don't know, there's so many possibilities as to why, because they've been so ambiguous, but I think helping Supergirl is a good one, but then also, actually no, that's a different thing. Never mind. Alright, so that's basically it. Yeah, I was thinking of another thing to do with that.
So here's my thing. This is what I think is happening. I think that whatever these characters did can be reversed, and maybe they're the only ones that can do it. So maybe the Legion came back to try and convince them to come fix things. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if Pestilence has the ability to do that, maybe Purity has the ability to fix it. I'm just wondering that could be what it is. Another thing is there's this weird theory that the Legion came back to reset the timeline. Did you hear about that? I read that online that they were saying that the reason why we see Mon-El in the red suit eventually is because they're going to reset the timeline. I was like,
I haven't heard that, but one of the theories as to why Mon-El might get this, well, why he is getting the red suit, I think in episode 15 he was shooting with that, is due to potentially in the past, because we know as of now, Mon-El hasn't been named, right? There's been no name dropped of his superhero name.
Right.
But if with Imra's obsession in the past with Supergirl, surely she's researched a lot of the stuff that's happened as far as she could get, and maybe she heard of a superhero named Valor who Supergirl used to team up with, and maybe most people were thinking that the red suit's from Win, apart from obviously some people who have that theory, like you said, Eric. So what happens if he has that suit? Because we know that Win was supposed to make Mon-El a suit before he actually went away, and with the color scheme, it being a reverse of Supergirl's, it really makes sense that Mon-El his new suit would be made by Win, because Win obviously made the other one, made Supergirl's suit. So that's one way that one of the theories as to why Mon-El would have that new suit. But yeah, the timeline theory, maybe it resets the timeline, and maybe that's why he's got the red suit. I don't know. But
well, another theory that's going around is that Saturn Girl is like the big bad. I think that's silly. I mean,
I think that's bullshit.
Why would they make her the big bad when we already have Rain? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't.
Yeah, it does not make sense at all.
So
going crazy.
And we also know we're getting, I believe the 3 characters are going to be Lightning Lad, Ultra Boy, and Cosmic Boy. Is that right? That's the 3 we're getting?
Cosmic Boy, yeah. Apparently, but then the way she actually said it was in a Snapchat story, and the way she said it, she sort of laughed afterwards, so we're not sure if that's 100%.
You think she was like...
So it'd be ridiculous PR if that was how they revealed that those 3 characters were coming. Oh, here's an Instagram story.
But the funny thing is there's so many characters on the Legion. Like, she could have name dropped any 3 characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be anybody. Yeah. So that's why I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, but I think that Supergirl, they have the potential, like, if they don't do a Legends of Tomorrow Justice Society and just throw them down the drain, they could, I think, definitely with the Blight, with them setting up the threat in the future, they could carry this on to next season. So I feel like her name dropping, that's just like,
I think it's funny.
I know it probably is. I loved Ben's.
Weird. I just loved Ben's emotion there.
Throwing them down the drain. I love that. That's so funny. It's true though. That's the thing. It's not a lie. It is true.
Yeah. So I think they should stay till next season. I know. Apparently, spoilers here. Click off now. Apparently, they're going to be leaving. Apparently, the Imra and Brainiac are going to be leaving in episode 18 or at the end of 17, something like that. And apparently, they might come back for the finale, which they haven't obviously shot, so we'll have to wait and see for that. But that's been a pretty strong rumor, and so I feel like with Mon-El probably going to stay, it's been said that he's going to stay whilst the other members go off. I feel like there's definitely a high possibility that they will be in next season.
That's good. It said Boba's asleep. That's funny. Okay,
honestly, don't have much to contribute.
Yeah.
Supergirl,
so we're gonna. Okay, so we'll go back to Supergirl if we get any questions about Supergirl. We're gonna go ahead and move over to another show and talk about Black Lightning a little bit, because we're still early in the series. So there's really not much. We got a few things to talk about, but not as much as we do with the other shows. So first of all, I think all of us are watching the season, and I think most of us are enjoying the season. Is that a fair statement? I mean...
Yeah, I said I was looking forward to it more than Flash's Fiddler return. In my view.
I've been...
Personally.
I actually really liked it. I really enjoy it, but I'm one episode behind. I've been really busy recently. That's my own fault. It's not because I don't want to watch it. It's just I've been so busy, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and I think it's very good. But the reason why I haven't been doing videos, I just don't think there's too much to break down in the episode. It's more of a, like I've said this before, it's more of a reaction type show, I think.
It's kind of finding its feet a little bit. Like it's interesting. There's some very interesting points, but for all intents and purposes, it's like just it's stumbling along a bit. But it's not bad by any means. But it's not freaking holy shit.
I enjoy it. It's like an enjoyable show, but it's not like a, you know, a deep like comic book show. I wouldn't say. But there is comic book elements, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like if you watch if you're watching Black Lightning, you can watch it without knowing anything about the comics. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's very accessible, I guess is the word. So let's see. Tobias Whale is he's supposed to be the main villain this season. Obviously, Lady Eve is a bigger villain in terms of the city and stuff. So we found out, and again, we're gonna have to spoil this for Ben, but I hate to do this.
Fine.
So that he's got like immortality basically, based on something they're doing on the show. So
is he taking drugs? I can't remember.
I believe that Lady Eve is creating stuff to give them long life, and that's why they are subservient to her. Is that correct? Pagey, you think that's what's going on as well?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get like delved into more in the next couple of episodes. But even like without spoiling stuff, there's let's just say Lady Eve's like with someone that's dead, and then just all of a sudden just wakes up. I'm pretty sure Eric knows what I'm talking about there, without spoiling like necessarily who it is. But like I was like, what the hell's going on there? And then it just cuts away. So it's like, oh, okay, well this must be tied to certain things are going to go down with like Tobias Well and stuff. But yeah, and then she was even talking about like how the albinos had crushed their bones and stuff to like some medicinal purpose and stuff. So yeah, hopefully in the next couple of episodes they delve deeper into that and actually, you know, explain it more. But I'm guessing next episode will, because it looks like it's a big origin episode, if you want to call it that, or at least a big flashback episode.
Yeah, where his father dies.
And the funny thing was in the synopsis, it didn't really say who killed his father, but then in the trailer it's very clear who's killing his father. So I'm like, why are they being ambiguous about this? That didn't make much sense to me.
Well, even going to the season with character descriptions, they said who killed his father.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
One of the weird things as well I find is like, you know, Peter Gamby, his Lucius Fox basically, knows that Tobias Whale's in town. And it's just more the fact that Black Lightning knows Tobias Whale is alive, but he's just like been exiled from town. But he's coming back to town. But I just find it weird. It's just like, I know obviously superheroes don't traditionally kill or anything like that, but it's just like, what did he do? Just kick him out, and now he's back. It's just like, it's just like, you killed my dad, I'm kicking you out. I'm kicking you out, and now
you have to stay. Go back to Kansas.
And now, and Peter Gamby, he's just like keeping it a secret from him. And you saw in the trailer for the next episode saying, well, you know, I know Tobias Whale is back. Like,
there's one thing I hate on these shows, and it's prevalent in all of them, is when you have people keeping secrets that they don't have to keep. Like, there's no point.
Yeah, Thunder is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, why not get advice from your father who's Black Lightning?
Right. I don't understand why they're keeping secrets from, like, and it happens in, like, I think I remember, 2 seasons ago when Joe West was like, we're a family now, no more secrets. And then immediately they go back to lying to each other. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
I really do like the power discovery with Anissa, but I just keep thinking, okay, it's obviously going to be a little secret between her and Peter for a while. And then, like, Jefferson's going to find out and he's like, I don't want you going out there. Peter seems to love all these little secret, you know, metahuman things going on. It's like a little project of his, and he's just, oh my god, I get to build a suit or something like that.
And it actually seems like the metahumans in the Black Lightning area in that city or whatever all stem back to some sort of project that his father was, or his grandfather was working on. So
I'm looking forward to finding out about that as well.
So that's going to be really interesting, because it seems like their metahumans may come from a different place than the ones on Earth 1. And speaking of that, do we think, because Black Lightning is obviously a huge success for the CW, I mean, it's doing really, really well. Do you think that they will keep it away from the Arrowverse, or are they going to officially find a way to cross it over next season? What do you think?
I think I don't know, because I was thinking when I was watching it, they definitely are a bit more grittier than the Arrowverse, aren't they? Whether that's, I don't know. Whether that, I was just surprised to see some of the scenes that we saw. I don't know. I felt like it was a lot more down to earth, and the CW normally try to be a lot more strict with language or even showing things in scenes than
well, I feel like though that if you look at all the Arrowverse shows, with the exception of like Flash and Supergirl, which are very similar in tone, Legends is extremely silly, and then Arrow is a bit more serious, but they somehow find a way to make it work. So I don't know if that would be the only reason they would keep it apart.
Anissa like lying in bed with barely anything on her, and I don't think we've ever had like a post.
No, we haven't.
Sleepover scene.
There was an Elicity scene in season 3.
Yeah, because I was wondering now. I was like, have we ever had like a basically post, bedroom scene?
There was a bareback scene of Emily.
Wait, hold on now. No, I remember what he's talking about.
Twitter today.
No, I remember that scene as well. So
that was not the right term. That was not the right phrasing.
That's what I said. That's why I was like, hold on here. It's too funny though. But yeah, I think there's still a possibility, because if Black Lightning is doing really well, I think it would be silly not to at least include them in the crossover. But the filming locations are also very different. Black Lightning films in Atlanta, and the other shows film in Vancouver. So that's a huge thing.
Somebody posted in the comments, by the way, she doesn't know that he's Black Lightning. That Black Lightning's family knows that he's Black Lightning, don't they? Unless I'm missing something.
I don't think the daughters do.
The daughters
really? I could have sworn they did.
No, it's not really established that well, but it's like, the
mother
knows, obviously, but the daughters don't.
Yeah.
I thought Thunder and Lightning, even though they're not Thunder and Lightning yet, I thought there was like, we know Daddy's been going out in the past, but not going out now.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm surprised the older daughters. I can understand the younger daughters.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Yeah.
That kind of makes it a bit more interesting, I suppose, because I was thinking, why the hell wouldn't you just go to your dad about the powers you're getting? That makes it a bit more interesting on my part, then.
I'm just surprised that Gamby is keeping, because doesn't Gamby know there's another vigilante with powers, because he saw video footage. So I'm really surprised that he has not brought that up to Black Lightning yet. That's kind of, again, another pointless thing that he's keeping from Jefferson that he doesn't have to.
Yeah, because he saw that video footage, and Jefferson was like, "Oh, should I go?" Then he's like, "Oh no, don't worry, it's done."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's blatantly going to be their little secret, and then that he's going to get annoyed with Peter for like hiding it from him.
Yeah, regarding the crossover, I actually don't think they should cross over. It's just such a different show from the other ones, and I don't know, maybe wait till season 3 or something, because it seems like it's just like very, very different. Yes, like season 2 of Supergirl had a lot of political commentary, this does, but it seems like a whole another level of like grittiness and like realism than
you can definitely tell this was supposed to be on Fox. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell they were going to put it on another network. It's very different.
100%. Because Gotham, I would say Gotham, is got that grit. You can see people getting shot and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely more Foxy.
Foxy.
Okay, so toss up. You guys want to talk about Legends next or Flash next? Should we say Flash for the end?
Yeah, Legends.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll talk about some other stuff when we're done here, guys. We're moving at a pretty good pace, so we got questions in the chat. We'll talk about other stuff. We'll talk about Black Panther. We'll answer some questions. So Legends of Tomorrow. Right now, I made a video about why I think it's the best show on DCTV, because I went back and watched the season again from the beginning. And with the exception of a couple of episodes, I feel like it's just a really good season this season. Legends is doing really well. So, Malice. Thoughts on Malice. His identity has not been revealed. Who do we think he is? Because he's definitely not Savitar.
It's obviously Gary. It's obviously Gary.
Is obviously. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, it's Gary.
Yeah. But is it going to be like the double take?
I've heard people say that he's supposed to be Savitar now, and I just don't understand where that connection comes in. Like, I don't...
Do you think Savitar's ever going to come back?
No.
Like, I hope not.
In a timeline stupid way?
I mean, they may bring a version of Barry back like that eventually, but I don't think we'll ever get, like, legitimate Savitar back again. You know what I
It's
mean?
just if they ever did that, it's like, why wouldn't he be as formidable as he was the whole season? That's my
Yeah.
problem with stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the Malice's avatar thing has just been popping into
But
people's heads.
here's the thing,
so-
though. Here's the thing, though. If Malice was a character from another show, why would that be the one that he would be? I mean, I get the whole idea of Savitar trying to be connected to everything across all times or whatever, but that's such a personal villain to Barry. I don't see how it would make any sense for him to be a villain of the Legends.
The only way connect to the Legends would be Wally, but Malice was around before Wally was a part of the Legends.
Right. So I think Malice
Yeah,
is less a person and more of maybe a culmination of anachronisms, like problems that they've had throughout time that all came together and formed like a sentient being. That's what I think it is, because it's all CGI. It would make no sense for it to be a person.
Yeah.
Well, he's a demon. Constantine said that he's actually a demon. So, yeah, it's definitely possible.
I mean, I think that would make the most sense, but
yeah,
Bebo.
Bebo is
yeah, but overall,
the last episode's got cuddly in it. So oh my god! Imagine if Bebo is the one that saves the day. Like Bebo is like Malice's kryptonite or something. He can't handle the cuddliness or something.
Someone says the last totem is the Philosopher's Stone or the Death Totem.
It got confirmed as a death totem. Yeah. So
somebody said that. I mean.
And obviously that's why Constantine's coming back for episode 15.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. I'm so excited for this season of Legends. I think it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. Quickly regarding this whole season, I think it's been really, really solid. I've loved like basically all the episodes apart from like one maybe. And also I just quickly wanted to mention, I absolutely love the titles that they've been doing. They're all like, most of them are like homage titles, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I've said this from the beginning. I feel like Legends, even though it's the funniest of the 5 shows that we have right now on the CW, I believe it's still the most mature. So a lot of their titles are tongue in cheek with like old movies and old TV shows and things like that. And I love it. I think it's great. So
somebody says it's Captain Cold who died in the Oculus.
That would be really cool. But the thing is, we have to think about motivations. That's what gets me, is when we come back to these characters, these big reveals, there has to be a legitimate motivation. And why would Captain Cold, who redeemed himself at that point, come back and be a villain? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. They'd then ruin the sacrifice, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. If that's your theory, I'm cool with it. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's going to be.
You know what I think's quite an interesting theory. Have you guys watched Constantine season 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. Okay.
Yeah, when it was first on, I can't really remember what happened.
All right. So with Malice being a demon and Constantine normally like in season 1 he was taking on demons and wizards and things like that throughout the whole season, like Felix Faust and all these other demons. What happens if he is the do you remember, I know if you haven't watched it in a long while you might have forgot, but back at the end of Constantine season 1, I think the Buccaria and like all the demons were all forming like an alliance or something.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
What happens if Malice is linked into them? I think that would be kind of cool with him.
So you mean you mean like wrapping up season 1 of Constantine within Legends?
Yeah,
that would be. I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that as long as it makes sense with the show. I think that would give a closure to the Constantine series, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah, because like that cliffhanger just kills me.
What if Malice is dark side? Ooh, what if he is? What if Malice is the Anti-Monitor? I mean.
Ooh.
Bebo has become a running joke really fast. I think Bebo was the worst and best thing that happened to Legends, because that was the one episode that I really hated. And that is the one character that I think everybody will remember at the end of the season. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Eobard is Malice is Eobard Thawne. I don't know about that. See, I don't think my problem with that is
I don't think it's anyone would know.
Right. He's a barista. Boba.
I was just a barista last week.
Oh God! For every week was a barista. Let's see. Pagey, Bobatalks, DCTV. Chance Fire's tire totem holder is Beatrice DaCosta. Ice totem holder is Taurus. See, Zayas, I don't know if they have time to introduce all of those characters. That's the problem. We're coming up on the end of the season already, and they've only got a handful of episodes. So and I haven't heard of any casting of those characters. And typically, they've wrapped filming already. So I mean, right? Or they're about to wrap filming. It's like either done or
they wrapped.
They have. Yeah. They have. I think.
So everybody's been cast already. So if those characters are in the series this season, we would have known something by now.
Yeah, Legends has like 2 days left of filming or something. I think they got delayed because of snow or something.
Jonah Hex. Right. Jonah Hex is coming back. I'm not a big fan of I like Jonah Hex as a character. I'm not a big fan of how he's been handled on the show, but that's just my personal opinion.
I'm hyped for
Better
that
than the goddamn movie.
That's true. The movie was bad.
I actually didn't see that film, but I love Jonah Hex in the comics, and I love westerns, and I love. I really do like these western episodes. They're not like the best because they're not necessarily. They haven't been really linked too much in the past with the story, but I just enjoy them because they're westerns, and I.
Well, not only that, but it's
just cool.
Legends is literally the only show that could happen on, which is why it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they couldn't really do that on another show. Sam says, I heard that Rip Hunter could be Malice and that he's an anachronism created by the Legends. Why would he warn the Legends about himself?
I don't want him to have another evil arc.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but I feel like maybe if it's not Rip, maybe Rip is responsible for it. You know what I mean? Like maybe whatever Malice is, Rip is responsible for creating it. Maybe when he created the Time Bureau, because remember there was 5 years of unaccounted time between when he came back and I don't think that was just a random number. I believe that they really thought about, gave time for things to happen, so that's why it was 5 years.
It was hunting Malice for 5 years. Surely some shit went down.
Right, I agree.
And time travel, right, can change and do stuff.
For sure. So we'll skip away from Malice for a second, and we're going to talk about the fact that we are getting Wally West with the Legends. Now, do you think he's going to be like a regular character after this season, or do you think it's just going to be in like the back half of the season? Do you think they're going to keep him around on season 2? Because honestly, I can't see him going back to the Flash and being a big part of that show. I just don't see it happening.
No, I agree. I still stand by kind of what I said. Like, I would love to see like a kind of Kid Flash, sort of like Teen Titans version, like regularly throughout it. But you know, on the cartoon versions, like they run a lot slower, don't they? But whereas on the live action, there's no excuse for Wally not to save the day every time. So it's going to annoy me every time they nerf him, if that makes sense.
It'll happen every week. It'll happen every week. For some reason, he'll not be able to do it. So
he'll run into like a post in the Wave Rider, and they'll be like, "Oh crap, we can't bring him outside on a mission.
We can't use your powers while we're in the time stream. Can't do it. Sorry." Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I hope they do a good job.
He doesn't even need the Wave Rider.
That's true. He doesn't. Maybe that's why Rip
really.
needs him,
like
though.
You know,
this is my thing. Maybe that's why Rip needs him, because he needs to time travel and he doesn't have any other way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
because he escaped and he's probably got nothing.
Yeah, but that's his first time in time travel.
We haven't seen Wally time travel. That's I brought this up. I was like, it would make sense, like, because I think one of the big things is like, why would Wally need a time traveling ship? He can time travel, but we haven't seen Wally time travel.
Yeah,
so that's the issue.
But I mean, Rip might be able to teach him how to do it. You know what I mean? Like that could be the possibility.
Oh, that could be one of the big plot points for this season. Wally learns how to do it. Maybe maybe the Wave Rider gets.
So maybe the joke about Barry screwing up the timeline can be swapped over to
hey,
Wally
Barry.
now.
Yeah.
Hey Barry, guess what I learned last week?
That would be too funny.
Yeah, it's just like they were used the nanites courtesy of Ray Palmer.
It says Wally is just replacing Jax for fixing the ship. Yeah, I'm 100% sure that Wally will be the mechanic for the ship, simply because that makes
he's a
so much
mechanic.
sense. Let's see. He says, what about Zari's brother Osiris appearing in the next couple episodes, or Malice causing the summoning of Etrigan by the finale? I don't know. I mean, I feel like Legends doesn't get complicated. You know what I mean? Like Legends isn't one of those shows where they make you remember things from 20 years ago, or, you know, try and put together pieces in this. That's why I like the mystery of Malice, because it seems like it's such a pure thing. Like, I feel like it's going to make all the sense in the world once we find out at the end. Like, it's going to go, oh, okay, we totally get it, you know? Because if you look at last season with the Legion of Doom, yeah, a lot of stuff at the end, to me, could have been considered plot holes or continuity errors, but they made it very accessible, very easy to watch, and very easy to understand. So I don't think it's going to be too complicated, like with her brother and that whole thing. I mean, it may come into play, but I don't know if we're gonna see anything like that.
The biggest issue would be the fire totem, I think, when they really get down to it, because of what happened in Vixen, like the animated show.
Because it's a continuity thing now. So
yeah, but didn't like they say in like one of the episodes it's in like a museum in Detroit or something?
Maybe Damien Dark steals it and then the Legends put it back in the timeline before our present day, something like that.
That's possible.
Yeah, didn't it get destroyed in Vixen or something?
Yeah, but that's in the future, isn't it? Remember?
Was it?
No, it was before that. Like Vixen season 2 was during, because Black Canary was in season 2, so that would have been before Laurel died.
Time travel.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to explain that, or they're just gonna have to retcon it and just say, "Oh no, it wasn't destroyed. It was just saved." I don't know.
Weird.
Yes.
Okay, so before we move away from Legends, we're going to bring up something that I think Sam talked about. Jesse Quick is confirmed to come to the show this season on Legends.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, and I've looked around again, tried to do a little research on this, that Jesse Quick is going to be Jesse from our current timeline, or do you think we're going to see Wally traveling back in time and meeting Jesse from like a year ago or something like that? What do you think? Thoughts on that?
It matters because I think Constantine's going to be in the same episode, so I'm guessing that wherever they pick up Constantine, Jesse goes, "Oh, I can sense them, and I'll just run over there," or something like that. Because obviously they're going to have to be in some sort of present day for Constantine to randomly appear. But what was I going to say? Someone else talk, because I completely had a brain fart.
Ben?
I don't really know. It's a good question.
No, I think she's only going to be in for like a very minimal amount, and so I think it will be something like definitely something to do with Wally, because Wally hasn't. Well, did Wally interact with her after they broke up?
No,
I don't remember.
Just through that cue.
Yeah, so I think it would just be like that awkward interaction, saying, "Hey, hey, hey, hey."
Yeah,
just like,
but
just
you know what?
Talking to each other like.
Go ahead. I think that's in a weird place because Jessie now has a connection to both shows because she's got Wally on Legends and she's got her father on The Flash, which means Violet can literally be on both shows because she's a character that kind of doesn't, she's not tied down to anything. So I think that's cool. Do you think maybe it's going to be an Earth 2 episode of Legends? Maybe they have to go to Earth 2 for something?
Well, I think the only reason that Jessie is on this episode of Legends is because they filmed this episode the same time that they were filming her episode of Flash. So I think I was like, oh, do you have a day break? Just film this 5-minute scene with Wally. I think that's basically the reason she's on this Legends episode.
Yeah.
And also why it's been announced so late. Because Constantine was announced like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's true. Either way, I think the only thing I'm worried about with Wally is having a speedster on the Wave Rider, because I think that when we're talking about powers, even though Firestorm was OP, Firestorm was they never showed him at the full potential. You know what I mean? Like they showed him, but they never let him have like the full potential he could have in the comics. Whereas Wally, as a speedster, to be completely honest, is already more powerful than everybody on the ship. So
true.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much because like the setting of the season, like like where it is at the moment, like we're in the last like what 6 episodes, I guess, when Wally officially joins. So like stakes are high at that point. It's just, I think we were talking about this earlier. It's just in those early like 6 to 7 episodes where they're versing like just randoms. Like Wally would just be, okay, I'll deal with this in 2 seconds, and then we'll go to Aruba and chill for a bit. So
right. Yeah, because
issue.
I have this distinct feeling that maybe, because if Rip went specifically looking for Wally, that means he knows that Barry's not going to help him, obviously. Wally's only real benefit to Rip would be time travel, because Rip now doesn't have access to the Time Bureau. Maybe he's going to Wally to help him time travel because Wally is a wild card. You know, maybe they can't track him the way they track the Wave Rider and things like that. So, I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of. Let's see, I don't think Wally can be OP. He said multiple times Wally has never been shown as powerful as Barry, Reverse Flash, Resume. He hasn't time travel yet, no dimensional jump, and Jesse is probably faster. Yeah, I would agree. Jesse is probably better in terms of a speedster compared to Wally, but even Wally as a baby speedster in terms of his powers is still more powerful than every single person on the Wave Rider. Like,
you could literally just run 2 seconds and tap their ankles, and it would all be slap on their back.
The only person that could arguably fight Wally would be maybe Vixen. And even then, if a speedster,
I just find it annoying when they send a projection and it somehow hits the speedster in their stream. Like, it's like, really, you
yeah. Let's see. Any other questions about Legends? Oh, what about Adam? See, the problem is that the Atom is basically the Iron Man. I mean, he doesn't really use his powers that much. I think there's been a million times over the course of the last 3 seasons where he could have shrunk down and fixed the problem in a second, and he doesn't do it. So, and I've complained about that so much, I'm not even going to get into that anymore. Anyway, but I'm enjoying Legends right now. We'll have to see where it goes this week. I'm excited once again for Wally coming to the show, but we're going to have to see where we go from there. So let's go ahead and wrap up our DCTV talk with The Flash. Saved it for the end. Somebody asked me if this season, and I can't remember who it was now because they haven't talked since they asked the question, I don't think. If I thought that this season, or we thought that this season is better than last season. And I have to say, as of right now, I think last season was better, and I was hugely critical of last season.
Agreed.
Hugely critical.
Agreed. 100%. Like, even though, I don't know, just better.
What do you think, Pagey?
I think if this season continues on with its current, like form, if you want to call it that, and like it's, you know, the same quality of episode going into the finale, then I think it'll be better than last season, because last season shat the bed in its last like 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Tripped over its legs, and the Savitar reveal was so bad, to keep it PG.
I did like the Savitar Barry scenes.
Yeah, like those, like the you know, the opposites, and like their scenes were okay. It's just that it was such a letdown. I've never been more disappointed in a reveal than I was with Savitar. I was in
That's
there,
how
like,
I feel about this
really?
season.
Really? I'm enjoying it, because it's just like, obviously we don't really, I guess one of the faults you could say is like they really haven't elaborated on what DeVoe's plan is, because it's like, okay, well, we'll set up in like episode, what was it, 4 or 5? Okay, is it this Age of Enlightenment? Is that what he's going for? Or is he just going to become this overpowered person with all these metahuman powers? Like, which is it?
I love the DeVoe stuff. The only thing that's just getting me is, as I said, like the thought of seeing this promo compared to the reason why I'm more excited for just even the Black Lightning episodes, because it's like, yeah, a comic book hero, you know, the Fiddler, it's like all great and stuff, but just, okay, we're gonna see another episode where Barry and Ralph are on the floor pulling silly faces. It's like, is that, I mean, I could be wrong because it's just the promo, right? But is it gonna be all that kind of silly wish-washy stuff? Because I don't know how much more of that I want to see. That's what I really liked about season 3. Yeah, some could argue it's too dark, but I really liked the fact that there wasn't all of this, you know, Ralph Dibny silly stuff. I really do like Ralph, but, you know, just from the promo where they were both landing on the floor and they're both like screaming, and it's like, yeah, it's just like, I want some more. I want some more episode 7 stuff with DeVoe.
Yeah, I understand what you're getting at, but like next episode, I think it's I don't know if it's necessarily like a big episode for Ralph, but I know like Ralph's going through like a personal crisis of his, because he's like, well, what the hell? Because they next episode they've said that they realize that DeVoe is going after these metahumans, and that's why they're saving the Fiddler. Because like, okay, we'll stop DeVoe from getting this metahuman, and that might stop his plan. But then due to that, Ralph realizes, well, crap, I'm a target. I was a bus metahuman, and he's having like a crisis of his own, thinking, oh, well, I'm screwed. So he's probably, and like, I think he's gonna have his own little journey in this episode, if you want to call it, similar to like that episode from like 2 or 3 episodes ago, where he's like, well, no, I can be scared. I could run away and try and avoid DeVoe. I can try and help and figure out the problem, which I think he's going to do, which I guess could inevitably lead to his downfall if he was to get captured by DeVoe, which I hope doesn't happen, because I don't want, that doesn't need to be, I hate when shows just feel like there has to be a death in a season. There doesn't have to be a death. Just keep everyone alive this season. There's no need for a death. I hate it when shows do that.
True.
Like when it's necessary, feel free and do it, but I don't think it's necessary to kill Ralph. Like, surely not every bus metahuman is going to get killed by DeVoe or get taken by him.
You know what? Thinking about this from last season, you know, when HR got killed off at the end of the season, they could have kept him around and gotten rid of Julian, since they weren't going to use him. You know what I mean? They could have easily had Julian be the one to sacrifice himself.
They got killed. Yeah.
Because now you think about it, HR was the most expendable, but Tom Cavanaugh wasn't going anywhere. So there was no point and necessarily getting rid of that character, which was kind of weird.
It's like they couldn't figure it out until the very end if they were going to renew his contract.
Yeah.
Well, that's like as I said, season. That's why I'm saying if like this season keeps its, even if you think it's just average, if it's average until the end, it's still better than last season. Because last season, apart from the Future Flash episode, I think every episode was poor.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the cheesiness has somewhat eliminated a little bit, or do you feel like there's still?
So
I think it's a bit.
Go ahead.
Eric.
That's the thing that really gets me.
I was going to say this,
and
you guys can go further on this, but my one thing about this is if Ralph was the one, like they said they wanted to make the season lighter, if Ralph was the one injection of lightness into the season, like as far as humor and stuff, I would be okay with it. Because if you think about it, HR was kind of the funny guy, last season. So having Ralph come in and be that character, I think would be great. But it becomes overbearing when every single character on the show changes personalities from one season to the next, with the exception of maybe Cisco, because Cisco's always been sort of silly, but everyone else has gone up and down. Like if you look at Iris right now, and I'm going to use her as an example, if you look at Iris right now on the show compared to Iris we got in episodes 1, 2, and 3, it's like two different characters, and I don't understand what they're doing with that. That's just my thoughts on it. I think it's just too much. It's too much.
Regarding what's taking me out of it.
Yeah, regarding the question that he said earlier, so these are the things. I actually prefer season 3 right now from what season 4's been doing, and I just feel like so I've got some points that I've got down. No massive fights. There hasn't been, as far as I can recall, like one big bad fight. Like I know the Thinker's supposed to be far away. It just, I don't know, it just takes the entertainment out a bit, because even say you guys say most people really didn't like Savitar, right? But you have to admit the fight scenes were pretty cool, and I just feel like the Flash over the past 3 seasons has had some really cool fight scenes between Zoom, Reverse Flash, Savitar, and this season all we've had is these little metahumans. Like every episode have one fight with the Flash or Ralph, and it's just been like,
yeah, they did say it would be a bit less fisticuffs and more literally, intellect, fastest brain. But, so they did disclaim that, but I know what you mean.
But like that's the thing. I don't watch these shows to watch like an action set piece, because like the times I love, like I'm using Arrow as a reference, but I think it's the most relevant reference to use because I think it's maybe what Flash is going for this season. My favorite parts of Arrow is when it's just them talking. And like last season when it was Adrian and Prometheus, what do you want to call him, Oliver talking, best parts of last season. Like cool, the fight scenes were cool, but it's not like I was dying for those fight scenes. I wanted to see Adrian and Oliver talk and how messed up Adrian was going to go and how much he was going to mess up Oliver through just him talking. Because that's how good I thought Josh Segarra was last season.
So I think it's fair to say then maybe great storytelling is the defining factor. Maybe it's the fact that it's not only the lack of action, but it's the lack of compelling writing. Really, I mean,
I think,
but that's what I think it comes down to. Oh yeah, I'll let Bobby go.
I was gonna say, I just feel like the combination would probably best like this. The mood of season 3 and the storyline of season 4 with DeVoe would have been probably the perfect outcome.
Yeah,
I think.
All right.
Yeah. Just the seriousness of season 3, and that would have tied in perfectly with DeVoe's, episode 7 flashback from there on out. I think that would have been. Brilliant.
Yeah. But I always say this: you wait until the season's over before you judge it, because at this point last season, Arrow was average.
Yeah,
like Arrow was arguably below average.
That's true. Yeah,
that's very true.
And then it just picked up at the end. And really, at this point last season, Flash was better than Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
And
so Sam brings up a point. He says, quickly, I think he goes, "Oh, go ahead, finish. What you're gonna say?"
Yeah, sorry. Quickly, the last few points as to why I think season 3 right now is better than season 4 is just due to, I think, the humor. Like you guys have said, the writing seems to be like they don't know what they're doing. They're just adding this stupid.
Yeah.
Like I would say by now it's just stupid and irrelevant that they put so much humor into these characters who have been so serious in the past seasons, and I just think it's really.
Why couldn't they just keep it to Cisco and Harry? Because. And as Eric said, introduce Ralph, but Cisco and Harry are literally comedy gold every episode. I never cringe at what they do. But now, it's way too.
You cringed at HR. Remember when HR dabbed? Does everyone remember that?
I can't remember that, to be honest.
So Sam
be
says,
honest.
he goes, I think it's, Sam says, I think it's, talking about season 4, he goes, I think it's better than season 3 by a long shot. Savitar was kind of a sad reveal. Do we think DeVoe will end up becoming AI, more machine than human? So that's a 2-part question. I understand there's some people that's going to like season 4 more, and that's why they did it. They changed it because they knew a lot of people didn't like season 3. And season 3 ended up becoming all about the Savitar reveal because they waited far too long to tell us who he was. Yeah. That was the problem. So if Savitar would have been revealed in like episode 13 or 14, like, or even earlier, episode 11, you know, could have revealed it. If we would have revealed him around the time they revealed Prometheus, we could have told a whole different story. But the problem is that's not what happened. And so that's why a lot of people, I think, hated, you know, season 3. But I think at the end of the day, season 3, in my opinion, outside of Savitar, had a lot stronger episodes than this one did.
Yeah,
than this season
I
does.
agree.
But
And
yeah, like I think if the perfect season in regards to, I think, tone, and like what you want from the Flash, I think was season 2.
Yeah,
season
I
2
agree.
had that
I agree.
dark villain.
Yeah.
I think
Doom, but it still had that season 1 tone.
We
if
talked
that
about
makes
this,
sense.
Pagey, too. We talked about this on another live stream that
Yeah,
even
it's
though
like
season 1, I think, was a stronger like season in terms of like where it started to where it went, season 2 of The Flash had the best episodes we've had ever, like easily.
Yeah.
it was really solid.
And really,
like,
I think it could possibly have been better than season 1 if Zoom's plan wasn't so like
Convoluted.
crap. Just
yeah.
crap. Like really, big ring. Let's run around it. Like wow.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah. It's true.
All right.
And
Go ahead, Ben.
quickly, just to finish off with what I was saying, this season I really haven't, due to the humor and things like that and the writing, I really haven't enjoyed Team Flash and their interactions together. Like, I even think last season, for the predominant amount of the episodes, the team even with Julian, who, yes, he didn't have much story to go on past his alchemy reveal. I think the whole entire team was just more compelling than just these humorous characters that don't really work. And I have to say, I'm really bored of Cecile. Like, why is she here?
to give Joe something to do. That's the only reason she's on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot
So
about that.
Doctor Who Theory says, what do you think about Iris having super speed? Let's jump into that because that was my next question for us here in the chat. So we know that Iris was getting suited up. We saw like behind the scene photos, blah, blah, blah. But we know the episode is going to be titled Run, Iris, Run, which is like, what, 3 episodes away from when it comes back? I think it's like 3. Yeah, 3 episodes away. Iris is going to get her powers from a DNA swap with Barry from a character called the Melting Pot. How do we feel about this? Because now we know for sure it is the Earth 1 Iris.
It's just, is
Go
it
ahead.
at all relevant to what should be going on? Like, I know there's a bunch of Iris West fans out there and all that stuff, fair enough, but is this a waste of time?
Well, I was really against it. At this point, I don't really care anymore because I'm sort of over talking about it. I was kind of watching the episode, but it's relevant to the season because it's a bus metahuman. So whenever there's a bus metahuman's involved, you have to say it's relevant because that's part of the story. And also, I think this bus metahuman is pretty overpowered and be pretty important to DeVoe's plan.
Yeah.
Like you can swap DNA. Like holy crap! Like you could just do that with him and Barry if he needed super speed for a day.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be pretty overpowered. You could
Like,
just get
I
any
feel like
meta he
these
needed
bus
and lock 'em up.
metahumans in general are more powerful than any of the other metahumans we've ever faced off against, to be completely honest.
Arguably, like the only one that wasn't really too overpowered was the Weeper because, like, really,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what? Who was it? The Weeper, and there's another one that was just sort of meh. Oh, I can't remember. There's one more that's just a bit average. I don't think their powers are that exciting. But yeah, like any episode that really is a bus metahuman is going to be relevant. I'm just wondering when are we going to meet those final ones? Because I know in episode 18, I've been told that there's another bus metahuman. What's his name? I can't remember. The guy that plays
Null? Null? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, Null's in Kevin Smith's episode, which is episode 17. Episode 18 is the actor's from Walking Dead. He's from Fear the Walking Dead. I can't remember.
No idea.
He was like, yeah, he's a character on the Fear the Walking Dead. I can't remember what character he's playing. I have to read my thing goes. But yeah, there's another bust human in episode 18, so we're getting episode 16, 17, and 18 with bust metahumans. So those are the last 3 bust metahumans. So in episode 18, there's no more bust metahumans. If this episode 18 is a bust metahuman, he's another meta, but you'd have to guess he's a bust metahuman, but probably, yeah. I don't know. So those 12th bust meta equals Godspeed theories, I think they're out the door.
Well, somebody says here, will Godspeed end up being a bust meta? I don't think so. I know a lot of people want to see that. One of the theories I've seen is that Devo becomes Godspeed, which made me not facepalm, but you know when you just put your fingers to your temple, and you just sort of like, yeah. Are you excited for the Breacher to come back? I kind of forgot he was even in the season because
it was all right. Danny Trejo is pretty good. He's a good actor, but I just thought his character was just there for comedy.
And I was disappointed in that because I wanted him to be a little bit different, but the fact that it was like, you better run, I'm going to come after you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was just, it was silly to me. I don't know. I'm not hoping that he's coming back.
As far as Iris getting powers for one episode and she's going to have a suit, a lot of people think that Iris is going to be wearing the Mystery Girl suit for that episode. Do you think that's what's going to happen, or that?
I think it's just hinting at the future, like, oh, you know, I'm still confused about the suit. Like, is Cisco just this express tailor and he can just make suits out of the blue?
Yeah. Some people said it might have been a prototype suit for Jesse Quick that he just never used.
But Jesse Quick never had a prototype suit because
that's what people are saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that theory is flat in its face straight away. So
like to do with Virus, yeah. I'm excited always at the concept of new speedsters, but I just think it's ridiculous how fast, because Flash episodes normally take up, what, a day or two at max? And it's just kind of ridiculous, the thought that she gets her powers from Barry, and then Cisco suddenly whips up a suit. Like, it's pretty intricate, even though it's not... It's like a totally different design from his other Flash ones. He could have just done a red suit. Yeah. But he's obviously thought about it.
All right.
So, I don't know, it's weird.
I can see it now. So like she gets her powers, and then immediately within 5 seconds, Cisco's going to forget that Barry doesn't have powers and go, "You need a suit. I'm going to make you a suit," and then she'll have a suit like in the next scene. And it also says that Barry will be the leader when Iris gets powers, which I'm like, why would her getting powers make her not be the leader of the team? That if anything, it would make her more apt to be the leader of the team. So that's such a weird thing that she gets powers, and all of a sudden now Barry's in charge. What are we doing? What are we doing with the Flash right now? I don't understand this.
Should be the guy out in the field, the person in the field. So stupid.
Just to fix someone up from the comments, someone just said that when I was talking about the boss meta in episode 18, they said it might have been Hyrax. Hyrax is in episode 15. That's the Jesse Quick, Jay Garrick episode.
Yeah.
Just to
clarify in the comments. Still not. I mean, do we know the identity of all of them now? I think we know most of them, right? Or their powers.
I can tell you in 2 seconds who this episode 18. I actually have to go to my Twitter.
As far as the Fiddler, somebody asked about the Fiddler's powers. In the comics and the show, it looks like she's going to have different powers because it was a male character in the comics who could hypnotize people, but it looks like in the show she can like create like concussive blasts with the fiddle.
The episode 18 meta is Folded Man. He can fold.
So
interesting.
Plastic Man? Is it like a version of Ralph? Well, I don't know.
No, the Folded Man can like his suit lets him travel between what's the word I'm looking for? Dimensions.
Oh,
seriously?
So he can go between like 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional.
Yeah,
so he can become
it is OP.
Imagine if the Thinker's got that.
Yeah, so he can become.
That's what I said. All of these, with the exception of the Fiddler, because if her powers rely on her having a fiddle, you just take the fiddle away from her and she doesn't have her powers anymore. But everybody else pretty much is OP. I think this season.
Yeah.
So the Fiddler's powers of the TV show look lame. Yeah, I don't think they did the hypnosis thing because that's too similar to other powers that we've had throughout the seasons. The cerebral inhibitor, yeah, I mean, we already know that's going to end up being a thing. So why does
like the thinking cap is just?
Why does Iris have a suit? We're wondering the same thing, Silverbolt. Okay.
Another thing with the Iris thing is that people were asking like, how does she just all of a sudden know how to use powers? Like, really well? Like, how long did it take
why
Barry
would
to
Barry
perfect
trust her? Why would anyone trust her? She just got the powers.
Well, no. Remember how like anal they were over goddamn Wally going
there?
there?
That's true.
Yeah.
and now the
True.
Iris is just allowed to go out.
Oh,
And she's gonna
team
be,
leader.
she's gonna be kind of cocky with it as well, kind of like, oh, I'm fine.
Well, and I have a feeling we're gonna have this. This is what's gonna happen. She's gonna get the powers. They're gonna find out about it. Joe's gonna be like, I don't want my baby girl going out on the streets fighting, because that's what he always calls her. And she's gonna go, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway because I'm Iris West, and then that's what's gonna happen.
I'm a strong, independent
woman. It's the problem is Iris has become one of these characters this season where she's being written by people on Tumblr. That's what I feel like. Like I think that it's like
it's basically Felicity in season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the writers would do a little bit more with her, but it feels like they're just. I don't even know how to explain it. I like Iris West. I just don't know what they're doing with her this year. I don't get it.
Barry's gonna be the one
her.
to say we are the Flash. Jesus Christ.
Flash Gamer says.
please.
Did any of the people on the street next to the gateway get powers, or just the ones on the bus? It's just gonna be the ones on the bus. They're not gonna. I mean, we may eventually say, oh, people got powers like in another season. This season, they've got more than enough bus metas to fill up the rest of the season. So I don't think we're gonna see anything else like that.
People were saying we are the Flash is making sense now.
Yeah. Well, it's self-prophesizing, I guess you could say in that term. But
yeah,
I am kind of curious though. The one thing I'm excited about when it comes to Iris getting speed powers out, because it's a very okay. Number one, I'm glad it's not a pregnancy. Thank you, Flash writers, for not making it a pregnancy.
Thank God.
But the other thing is that I hope that they at least allow her to use something different with speed, like make her use the speed in a different way, because if she's just fast, like if you think about it, go back to season 1 of The Flash and watch how completely ridiculous it was with Barry trying to learn how to use his powers in like the first 5 or 6 episodes. So they need to figure out how to make it make sense with her having the powers. I'm assuming Barry's going to talk her through it like she used to do with him back in season 1. It's going to be like a flip around. But we'll have to see what's going to happen. Because, I mean, again, I'm very skeptical on how they're going to pull this off unless they do it right. And I just don't have much faith in them this season. So, yeah. So, one more thing I want to talk about, Flash, that I want to, before, because I know we have to wrap this up here in a minute. So, we know that the next episode after they come back this week is Flash Time, I believe. It's like Subject 9 is the first one, and then Flash Time is the next one after that, right? Isn't that the order?
Enter Flash Time.
Yeah, enter Flash Time. So that one sounds like, to me, it's going to just stomp all over continuity and create a million plot holes. Because if the speedsters are fast enough to go at that speed for an entire episode and keep everybody else in basically like just frozen while they do things, how fast are they going? I mean, that's my thing.
They're
like,
gonna go fucking far.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, look at the courtroom scene.
Mad.
I can buy it for like, a minute. They're talking for a minute. I get it.
Yeah.
But we're talking about an entire episode where they're going to be doing this.
Like a day worth or something like that.
Yeah, like the opening 5 minutes
what are
will be
they
normal,
doing?
the closing 5 minutes will be normal.
Okay, so Boba, enter Flash Time. The synopsis for that says that there's going to be an explosion from a nuclear device in Central City, and that Jay Garrick, Jesse Quick, and Barry Allen enter Flash Time, where it basically slows everything around them down to a complete standstill.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically a larger version of the courtroom scene, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess
Jesse and Jay and everyone else is capable of that. No.
that's what I mean. That's the part that gets me.
It's all of them together.
Right.
I think it's all.
I
of them
thought
together.
Barry came back supercharged from the Speed Force, not everyone else.
Yeah.
No, but they can use the powers together. I think they mentioned that something.
That's kind of like a rebirth kind of arc, isn't it? You can fuel each other's speed.
That's what I think they're going to do. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only explanation for it. But my point being is that if they're that fast together, why would they not just continue to... Like, they could go to each other's Earth and just literally stop any
Freeze
problem.
time,
Get
everyone.
So it doesn't make any sense.
They could literally just finesse. They could just finesse DeVoe right there.
Yeah,
literally.
It's like we're all
They could just
together.
stop
We stopped the
DeVoe
bomb.
right
Now let's go stop DeVoe. We're doing this already. Let's multitask. You got
let's just face through him.
we clock out at 6. We still got 2 hours. Let's go ahead and finish this off. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So again, it sounds really cool if it was an individual episode, but we're talking about it's in the middle of the season. So
So what is the tail end looking like the tail end?
I have
Arrow
very
season 5?
I have very low hopes for the rest of the season, and I hate to feel that way because The Flash was
I know exactly how you feel.
my favorite show, and I don't know what happened. Did this Andrew Kreisberg have anything to do with this? Because I feel like he wanted to change the tone on the show, but
His last troll.
Well, I think if you have an issue with the Flash, I think the biggest thing that like would be the reason for it is going to the season. We knew that they had written it from beginning to end, like the major plot points and even the minor plot points before they even started filming.
Yeah, they had such a long time before. Yeah,
and that could, even though I think going to the season, we're all like, oh, okay, that's good because of what happened in season 3, where it just felt like they just tripped over the legs because it seemed like they were trying to like, they just hadn't worked it out before they even got to the point where they were doing it. So like, okay, well that's different than last season where they stuffed up. So this will be good, but you know, if things change, people might, you know, aren't adapting to things well, not liking it.
right.
You know, maybe a character doesn't work, then they can't change it. And if they do change it, they can just end up back in a season 3 situation where stuff doesn't make sense.
yeah.
So, they're in a hard, there's almost like between a rock and a hard place because I think they wanted to be prepared, but also not prepared like they were last season. So I don't know.
The thing is, how much are they really going to change it up without, you know, with our reactions like this being too late? Not saying they listen to us for in particular, but like, you know.
Well, the problem is, I think we know so much about the remainder of the season. I mean, there's synopsises for like what the next 5 episodes out. So I mean,
that's weird.
Or titles.
They never used to do that. Yeah, they never used to do that. It used to be like a week, 2 weeks max.
The synopsis, the description usually doesn't come out for like. It matters if there's a break or not. If there's no breaks, then you might get it like 2 or 3 weeks before. But titles, like I remember last year we had the title for the Future Flash episode like a month and a half before it was out because they were filming it.
I just feel like the synopsis this season in particular give away a lot of what's going to happen in the episode. Like I know we always say there's a fine balance between giving away too much and not giving away enough. Like a 1-sentence synopsis is not worth even releasing in my opinion. But you know, we get these ones like where it's like 5 or 6 lines of what's going to happen, and it literally tells you everything that's going to happen in the episode. So, and I feel like Flash this season has been very relaxed when it comes to their content, like, you know, what's coming out and stuff. Because to be completely honest, even though they might have wrote the whole season before it started, I still feel like Thinker's plans just aren't, it's not coming together for me. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird.
Yeah. I legit don't know what he's doing. Like, he's done a few things. He's going to get the metahumans. Then what's he going to do? Kill the Flash? I don't know. It's just like, it seems really
They're not
simple.
teasing an ultimate end apart from just saying enlightenment.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's so clear that his wife is, you know, I don't know if they're conveying it to us properly, because I think obviously he's doubting her, but then he's still giving her a chance. But he's basically also like, you know, if you don't love me, then I'm going to, you know.
But he's the Thinker. Shouldn't he have a fallback plan for everything? There's no way logically that he should be able to be outsmarted by anyone in his life. Period.
That's the thing. She's his, you know, blind spot. So, and yeah, it shouldn't be at the same time, because it's so obvious that she's falling out of love with him.
Well, I mean, it's just going to show that he's becoming, and Sam's comment about him becoming more AI than human, I think it's already happened.
Yeah,
I think he's basically artificial intelligence now, and that's a really scary thing. Plus, now that we've jumped from Brainstorm to Hazard, which is a character who I didn't have a problem with, I mean, that's another thing is you have a big bad who is literally everybody. I mean, he's becoming more of a enigma than an actual person, and it's really weird to me.
Wasn't there a picture, and obviously this is the DCTV spoilers part, but like I saw like a picture with the beard on the original DeVoe.
Yeah, the original DeVoe.
What could that be about?
Oh, from what I heard, he was just in. He's not in the episode.
Is he just chilling?
He was just in Vancouver. I think the guy lives in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Because he's in so many properties.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if that's. Yeah, but I remember, like, I think we were talking about it. Like, he was seen on set, and that's why, because he appeared in that at the end of last episode. Last episode. Yeah, last episode.
And if you think about it, if he actually gets Ralph's, like, this is my biggest fear. This is my biggest fear, right?
Back into himself.
Yes. So this is what I think. Ralph is not going to make it out of the season. I think DeVoe's going to get him.
Hopefully not.
And he's going to use him to look like himself
like...
again. And then we'll see the regular DeVoe at the end of the season as the big bad. That's what I think is going to happen. So. It makes the most sense.
That will kind of go back to how they killed off Dibney in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really care for Ralph, if I'm totally honest. I've liked him in a few episodes.
I didn't, and then I did. But same
I don't know. I'm kind of on edge. I don't care if he dies. I don't care if he leaves. I don't know. I just haven't really grown. He hasn't grown on me.
Yeah. All right. So I think it goes without saying that we're very cautiously like getting towards the end of the Flash and wondering what's going to actually happen. I think all the other shows are in better places right now than the Flash. I think the Flash is the one that I'm worried about. So yeah, it's true. If you think about it, Supergirl has got a lot of good stuff coming up, you know, in the back half.
Yeah. But also quickly, Arrow. Mm-hmm. I don't really like the Civil War thing. Do you guys like that?
No, I don't like it at all.
Going on?
I think it's kind of.
I haven't liked the whole thing. That's why I'm hoping that Renee and Dinah leave. That's just.
And Diana in the last episode was. I gotta say, I really didn't like the acting of her when she was angry. It seemed so false.
It wasn't really the acting. It was just more like.
Yeah, the circumstance.
It was just more Dinah as a character was just so.
It was just like, on the script. Act angry here.
Just so brash with her decisions. She was just like wasn't thinking things through. It was like, aren't you a cop?
I'm gonna kill him.
And Juliana is actually very committed to the character. There have been scenes of her working out and doing all that. Like she's very committed to this character, and they just.
I've liked following her.
Yeah, I feel like they brought her in when they thought that the fans would accept that Laurel was gone, and then they were like, "Oh, the fans aren't accepting this.
That's not the case.
Let's do something else."
Still don't understand.
And I feel really bad for that.
Obsession.
So yeah,
to be honest, I've been liking her, apart from really until Team Arrow broke up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's until, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, coming into this season, I feel like there was a lot of pressure because the end of last season was so strong, but I think there was a lot of really small mistakes they made, like having William around, things like that.
FBI.
Yeah, that just made the whole season fall apart. Where's the accelerated man?
Oh, God.
I want him to come.
Yeah, I wish he would come back.
I liked his lightning.
Sam says, thank you again for the super chat. Arrow Civil War, like, why? Such a bad story. It is a bad story. I don't understand why they're doing it. Well, because there was too many characters on the good guy side. That's the problem. They had too much of a team.
And also, have you heard that Iris is apparently having purple lightning in the episode?
Are you kidding me? Really?
Oh, really?
Really?
But if it's a DNA swap, why? Or is that just a whole? Is there actually a speed meter?
I don't know. It's one of the rumors is that she's meant to have purple lightning. That's why the suit looks like that.
Is that literally, do you reckon, in terms of mainstreamness, though? Because she's
nice, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it is? Do you reckon they did just do it to differentiate and, you know, male from female, purple lightning, even though Zoom had, making it a bit girly?
Because the same color lightning as Barry and Wally, so.
Well, Accelerated Man has purple, though.
That's true.
So, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't think it's that.
Accelerated Woman? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's it for the DC TV talk. We have like 5 minutes before Ben has to go. So some people were asking a few questions. I don't remember names, but one of them that I want to answer, like talk about with you guys, is the whole Flash movie thing. I don't know if you've heard, but they released like early synopsises about, you know, the movie and whatnot. It sounds ridiculous. Like everything they've said about it sounds like it's completely ridiculous. They're trying to do Flashpoint as the first movie. Yeah, it does. Exactly.
You know,
wait, can you run over it? Can you run over it?
You know,
I'll get it up.
They basically.
Let Pagey will read it out, and then you'll say why it's so bad.
This would be my reaction to it, by the way, because I haven't actually seen this.
Okay, here we go.
Read it.
DC's Flashpoint may include references / flashbacks to Barry's accident, which would include Eobard Thawne. The supporting cast will have Officer Fred Shire, a Keystone City cop investigating Johnny Quick's death. Detective Jared Murillo is also set to appear. DC's Flashpoint has Caitlin Snow set to appear in a lead role and could also become an alter ego Killer Frost during the film. Dr. Arthur Light is set to be the film's main villain. However, both Captain Cold and Heatwave are set to appear also.
They've definitely borrowed a lot, I feel.
It sounds like an episode of the TV show.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think with them saying that Dr. Light's going to be the bad guy, this is my theory. I think he will be the bad guy for about 30 minutes of the film. Then Flashpoint will kick in with Reverse Flash, and then he will become. I think it's just a bit of. That's my theory.
But that's just a lot to unpack because they're not going to make it more than 2 hours. We already know that Warner Brothers is committed to like that 2 hour movie mark. So we got less than 2 hours to tell this story. That just sounds so ridiculously packed with stuff. I don't know how they're going to fit all of that into a movie.
Two-part. Captain
Do you
Cold
think
and
two-part
Heatwave
film?
as well? So what are you gonna do? Just have them as that side thing?
Well, they could do Citizen Cold, can't they?
They could, yeah.
True.
They could.
The Flashpoint story.
But I feel like the problem is when they're doing the movie, we're in what, like halfway through the 4th season of the TV show with The Flash, and they've covered so many classic Flash stories. How is this movie franchise going to survive without literally being almost just like what we've already seen in the TV show? That's my biggest problem.
A problem
they're
is
gonna
as well,
take a lot.
people. I know they said flashbacks, you know, so people might know who Eobard Thawne is, but if they do Heatwave and stuff, like people, the mainstream audience would be like, "What the hell?" Especially if they do a Citizen Cold swap. I don't think people would care about these villains or rogues, whatever.
I don't understand why you do Dr. Arthur Light as the villain. He's so lame.
Yeah.
The only thing I can remember from the comics is that he, did stuff with Ralph Dibny's wife.
Well, the thing is that also you look at the Flash.
Fiddle.
I think they're afraid of doing the Reverse Flash because we do know that Reverse Flash, the season 1 Reverse Flash was literally dope. Like that was like, it's going to be really hard, honestly. Like Matt Lesher does a pretty good job because we know that he is the original Eobard Thawne. Yeah. And I think for me, they're both equally, like they're different in terms like Tom Cavanaugh and Matt Lesher. They're different enough, but they still are very compelling with this character. But if we're talking about the one that interacted the most with Barry and has the biggest connection with Barry, obviously it's the Tom Cavanaugh version. It's going to be really hard for a movie to bring in someone that is going to replace or try and, build on or do better than Tom Cavanaugh's Eobard Thawne. That's just my opinion.
Do you think it would just kind of be like Ezra Miller to Grant Gustin? It's like, Ezra Miller's cool. It's like, I prefer Grant Gustin.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because it's like with Superman, we're used to having multiple people play Superman because he's an iconic character. Like, honestly, Grant Gustin in the TV show sort of took a comic book character that so many fans loved in The Flash and made him a household name, right? Sort of like what Stephen Amell did with Green Arrow. Yeah. So it's hard to take a character like that and put him in another like property and have the fans go, I like both of them. It's going to be really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Cream Cheese Burrito said it's like they're cramming everything they could possibly put in a movie. Yes, keep it simple. Flash origin story. He deals with a few like smaller villains. Reverse Flash shows up at the end. They create that conflict, and then you do a Flashpoint movie. That's the way you would do it. Like I don't understand doing it this way.
I think it should be if they go for this, it should be a 2-part film. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just reading a reply to that Twitter post, and someone goes, "Dr. Light can be a main villain in the Flash film." That's great. I disagree. Don't use the big guns right away. Use him and introduce Heatwave and Captain Cold for future films, but don't call it Flashpoint. Just do Flash first and then do Flashpoint with Reverse Flash as the villain. Please God, you can. Okay, this guy can't speak English. You can not do Flashpoint without Reverse Flash, and I'm guessing that's what he's trying to say.
They even bring up Johnny Quick though. They bring up Johnny Quick. How are we going to explain Johnny Quick? The death of Johnny Quick without ever introducing him.
Yeah, they're gonna do this, and they're never gonna finish it. It's gonna be acts. Like I've said in my live streams when people ask me about DCU and stuff like that. I'm so desensitized.
You just wait till once you see a trailer, and let's just see them filming the movie. That's when okay, what's happening?
You know what? I feel like Justice League took the wind out of my sails. Like I saw that movie, and I'm like, is this really? I mean, is this what we're gonna do here?
Like it should have been like that big event, like. The fact that Black Panther made more than Justice League in a week, more than Justice League did in its whole run in a week, is embarrassing for DC. Like I know Black Panther's a hit, but like in your whole run, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's just America. I think that's just.
We're talking. Okay, so regardless, and this is not me crapping all over Justice League because I still felt like I saw it 3 times in the theater, so I contributed to it.
Yeah,
right?
I still enjoyed the movie, but
like,
really
when you have a movie that has Superman Batman and coming off the success of Wonder Woman, and that movie cannot make more than an individual, relatively unknown Marvel superhero. There's an issue with what you're doing. There's an issue with it. And this is exactly why I believe Joss Whedon was taken off of Batgirl, because of the fact that he was supposed to be this home run for Justice League. It didn't happen. They said, your Batgirl's not going to happen. We're taking you off of it, but we're keeping Batgirl around. But people don't realize that Joss was going to produce, screenwrite, write, and direct Batgirl, as well as cast all the characters. This is a big problem. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't either.
Yeah.
And Matt Reeves,
I don't think he was like let go either. I think he was like, look, Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing here. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
Like, why do I want to be involved with it? I'm just going to lose all my hair and not going to have, just due to stress.
He can't afford to have another. Yeah. He can't afford to strike out on another movie. That's the thing. He can't afford
at
to
this
do it.
rate, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that Joker origin film does like really well. That they don't bloody reboot the universe with that 80s kind of theme. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised just because of how shit the DCU is.
That's another thing.
So looking forward to that.
Yeti Style says is Batman and Flashpoint. That's the thing, is they said that Batman was going to be in Flashpoint, Wonder Woman was going to be in Flashpoint. All these other characters from Justice League were supposed to be in the Flashpoint movie. So,
but that was before they got the Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, my gosh. Yeah, and the thing is, Matt Reeves, I think, Juice, I believe, because you guys were talking about it, about the whole Matt Reeves thing in the Batman movie. It's been, what, a year now that he's been tied to that project, and nothing has been revealed. Nothing. Mm-hmm. It's literally been dead in the water.
Yeah, it's going to be a new Batman, but yeah, is that film even...
Like, for an example, and I know it might not be the best example, because let's just say the first trailer wasn't the most... exciting thing to watch. But remember when Venom was announced and how quickly they jumped into filming that?
Yeah.
And Tom Hardy was cast, and now that we've had a trailer and it's coming out later this year, I remember that first picture coming out, it feels like it was a couple of months ago, and the movie's going to come out in a couple of months. Like, I know maybe don't jump into it that quick, but don't announce something and take so long that people just forget about it.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Sam,
that's like the Solo film, to be honest.
Thank you for the super chat.
I think that's the exact same with the Han Solo film as well. Like,
literally coming out in 3 months. First trailer.
Sam goes, DCU could have been so good. They had so much potential and some of the best cast choices. Gal Gadot, and it's really disappointing. Thank you for the super chat, Sam. I agree, and my pitch for DCEU still stands. I believe that they should have a cast of characters like Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, all these characters who play, or these actors who play these characters, and do each individual movie as an Elseworld story. So we can have the same characters or same actors playing the characters, but give them completely different story arcs like they do with the DC animated world, because that works so well.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, so it's not like an MCU type of thing. It's almost
it's completely different. Yeah, I mean, like you could do you could do a Gotham by Gaslight with Ben Affleck as Batman, and then have him as regular Batman later on, because it's all individual films and the only connective tissue is the actors. That would be great.
But they won't do that because they want to replicate Marvel thing. They want to make their own cinematic universe where everything's connected. But
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think honestly, even though it's so controversial, the whole Joker origin movie, like, I should have an origin, bloody blue, blah blah. I think if that does amazing, that will be the way to go. Like, so it'll be an example to follow potentially for what the DC can now actually do, and they'll abandon the DCU. I don't know.
Yeah. And also with the Joker origin movie, I have no doubt that it's going to be really good, because that's fucking Martin Scorsese on it, and if he's a producer, he's going to be looking over that script. And I think something that Zack Snyder, from a film standpoint, he's just not a very good he's not good with his dialogue. Yes, his visuals are very nice, and I think the DCEU has just had a problem with its directors. Apart from Patty Jenkins, she's been really good, and that's just my personal opinion. I just think
I kind of understand where everyone says though.
Well,
it's going to be a good film, I think, but the fact is, if they do an origin, I know this isn't exactly, or an origin is an origin, but I hope they end the film with saying, oh, but that's one of the ways I remember it. So they still don't give the Joker, that's the mysterious factor about him. Yeah,
Sam says that Ben leaving the role as Batman. I heard rumors about it. I don't even know anymore. I mean, it's one day.
I don't believe in
I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
that's how much I don't care about it.
it's been said so much that I just literally don't care. He's not gonna leave. He gets a shit ton of money. That's fine. Like, I don't think if they're gonna reboot it, yes, he will leave. But if they carry on, I don't think they're just gonna recast him. People are gonna be like, what?
Well, I think they're definitely gonna wait till the reception. I think they're gonna like. I think Ben Affleck will wait until the reception of both. Wait, Wonder Woman 2 come out next year, or does it start?
2019, I think.
It comes out next year, doesn't it? With Captain Marvel as well.
Yeah, it does.
Come out next year.
Yeah,
so next year we got Shazam and Wonder Woman 2, and then we've got Aquaman at the end of this year. I think all three will be successes. I think Shazam's sweet. I think it's got they haven't gone overboard. They've casted.
I honestly believe Shazam is their best effort at changing things up because it's so different from what they've already had.
And it's so different. Like no one, I might say it's going to be DC's version of this Marvel movie, but like it's a character which not many people will be familiar with, but it
awesome
familiar at the same time because he is sort of similar to Superman. Yeah, I'm excited to see and also it doesn't have necessarily like a big name. Like really, the biggest name in it is one of the kids because he's from It.
Yeah.
What is Jack Fraser or whatever his name is. So I think the next three movies for DC are all going to be at least critically accepted.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think there's like a Suicide Squad like lying in there poking its head out saying fuck Marvel and all that stuff.
Harley Quinn's solo film as well. Oh god.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. Like I don't know.
Margot Robbie is a brilliant. He's so good. Have you seen I, Tonya? She's brilliant.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
It's just you need, like I said earlier, you need the right director. You need the right screenwriter. Like, Suicide Squad was just terrible in my opinion. I just really.
And it had so much potential. And it had so much potential.
Suicide Squad is that the more you watch it, it's just boring.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Feels like a video game.
That's true.
I enjoyed it the first time.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad movie. I think it's such a formulaic movie.
It was like paint by numbers. Basically, he went through a checklist of things he wanted to do, and that was all it was.
Yeah. And then when it got to basically after introducing the characters and putting them in that situation, it felt like, oh, here's stage one. Okay, it felt like playing Call of Duty Zombies. Like you're just taking out a horde, move on to the next horde, and you just kept going until you reached a villain, like the big boss, if you want to call it.
So Flash Gamer Death wants Boba and Ben to stop swearing.
We're swearing. Is it the Jesus comments? I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I didn't realize I was swearing.
But I think honestly, I think David Ayer got a lot of credit for stuff that he didn't deserve because I think for the amount of time that he had to get that done, I think he did an okay job.
That they tried to release it then.
They wanted to squeeze it in after Batman v Superman and before Justice League. So then that defeated Wonder Woman as well. So
someone said, "Can we leave it alone?" I actually enjoyed it, but the first time, and I agree with that. I enjoyed it the first time. Went to watch it with my girlfriend for the second time, but it was her first time, and I was just to be honest, quite bored.
Yeah, it's just once you've seen it once, it's not like I could watch Batman v Superman over again.
Yeah.
But with Suicide Squad, I think
the extended version of BVS to me, actually, the more I've gone back and watched it, the more I've started to sort of, I don't want to say appreciate it, but I do feel like there was a clear concept with that film. Whereas I think in Justice League, even though it's got the bigger, more action-packed moments, I can see the disjointedness in that movie compared to BVS, like the uncut version. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, there's going to be a Suicide Squad too. They've already talked about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I think the characters are great.
Yeah.
If they have time to make it, I don't see how it could not work.
I just wish Killer Croc was more, not like the Hulk, but not just a dude with scales on him. In terms of a big.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand why they didn't do it just because CGI. I can understand why they didn't do it, but because it would have been hard to get, and especially it was all. It has CGI can look really bad when it's really dark.
I think he should have. I don't know. I just think he should have been a little bit bigger, still kind of. I don't know, like a Savitar suit, if that makes sense, instead of just this. If that's bigger.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like cosplay.
Before we go, somebody asked a question about. This will be the last thing we talk about, because I know Ben's got to go. The Flash episodes, Therefore I Am and Therefore She Is, talking about Marlize being taking over or whatever for the Thinker. Is it possible, do you think, that the Thinker is going to take over Marlise's body? Do you think that would happen or no?
Yeah, I think I posed that theory on Twitter, or someone was saying it could be like the revelation of all those symbols where the quote-unquote Dawn Allen character could come in. So it's either the Marlies or it's Dawn Allen coming in. It's one of them.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about Dawn Allen. The only reason why is because there's so little we know about her. It's It's. I know you guys mentioned it several times. We know, Jenny Ognet's Dawn Allen, whatever she's going to be. She's been in like less than 3 minutes of the whole season, so there's really not a lot to go on. But
you can just speculate. Really, there's only so much you can speculate. Right.
So anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for coming into the 4-channel crossover. Thank you, Ben, DCTVShow. Thank you, Bobatalks. Thank you, Pagey. We got our shows coming back very soon. So I'll be doing my normal live streams, and I think everybody, Pagey, will do his live streams. Boba chills. Ben's going out of town, I think. For 2 weeks, Ben, or just 1 week, or?
Oh no, it's just a week. I'm away, and then I'm away at the end of the month as well in America again.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks you guys so much for coming in. We appreciate it. The next 4-channel crossover, I believe, is going to be on Boba's channel, I think. So he gets
mine or Ben's. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's one of two.
We'll see.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows?
We'll figure it out. Anyway, stay tuned to our social media. Follow us on Twitter, all the other places. Twitter, I think, is the most accessible. I still don't have a community tab on my YouTube. What the heck is going on? I still do not. Look, before I go, I just want to show you guys. I want to show you guys. This is my YouTube channel on my phone. There is no community tab. No community tab. It's
I don't
just
even
the
know.
I don't understand
I feel
why.
like I've had that. I had that before Christmas or maybe October. I don't know.
I don't even have one.
So,
I have it, but I only use it every so.
So Twitter would be the only place you could contact me with that. Facebook is
so useful.
Facebook is okay, but Facebook is literally
polls,
the one with the least amount of interaction. So Twitter is literally the best place to reach me. So anyway, thank you guys for stopping in. Yes, I have a Snapchat. It is DJ Eric, so you can find me on there. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping in, and we will see you guys at the next one. Peace.
Bye.